Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and today I will be beating Dark Souls 3 with only the Lifehunt Scythe. The rules are I can only use the Lifehunt Scythe as soon as I get access to it, because as you can see here for the beginning part, I'm using the mace because I just don't have the stats for it yet, but as soon as I get the stats for it, I will use the Lifehunt Scythe. So yeah, let's get started. Now on to Gundyr, which will be very easy given the fact that I'm using like a normal weapon on this guy. It won't be as easy as the Great Machete run. That run was... I still can't believe how fast I was able to do that. That's mainly why I just posted it midweek, because it wasn't like a very hard run. But this run was a lot harder, I'm gonna be honest. Definitely gets harder when I actually start using it because it's very slow, but you do get health on hit, which is pretty nice, but it is very slow, so it's a drawback. Now before Vort, I farmed up enough souls to actually be able to wield the Lifehunt Scythe. I don't actually remember exactly how much stats is required, but I imagine it's not that high if I was able to get it pretty quickly with a cleric. So yeah, no. But also, because this is an early game boss and I'm using a late game spell, he goes down pretty easily. I mean, this is what a lot of the early game looks like. The early game was really easy, but as soon as honestly, it was mainly the twin princes that were really hard to kill. I think I spent quite a few hours on them. But yeah, no, Vort was not too difficult with this. Moving on. Now on this run, I decided that I would try to do Secret's questline to do the boss. But unfortunately, as you'll see when we get to Yorm, he got stuck in the corner and died. And so I ended up just using the Storm Ruler because there was no way that I could like hit his head realistically with the Lifehunt Scythe, and I just wouldn't have enough flasks at that point in the game, I don't feel like, to reasonably kill him with the weapon. But yeah, no, this demon wasn't too hard though. Now, I needed to kill that NPC right there that's low-key chasing me because they have the best, like, thing for the Lifehunt Scythe. And so I probably was, like, soft-locked in Firelink Shrine for so long, I just allowed myself to use, like, just the cestus, or whatever they're called, like the fist weapons, just because my plan was just to knock her off the ledge multiple times. And I just didn't have the force miracle. Like, I guess I could have just used that. But I didn't really have access to it, because I think I sold it at the beginning of the game, because I was just like, I didn't want to use anything else. And that was really the only weapon I had. But luckily, I was able to knock her off and get the thing, but I still couldn't use it. Now, first phase of Crystal Sage was really not too hard, because it's just a bunch of spell spam, and if you get close, I can, like if I get close, I can get a good couple scythe swings in before they teleport. But second phase, especially with how long the windup is on this thing, and how low health I'm at, just at the beginning of the game, because I have to pump all my stats into Faith and Intellect for damage, it just makes it a lot harder in that second phase when I'm just getting peppered the whole time, but eventually I was able to do it. Now, Deacons really gave me some trouble this time around because I could only, like, if the Deacon I needed to damage was was surrounded, I couldn't really get to them very quickly. So a lot of the time they're like right here, like I can't really get to that guy. So by the time that like I actually start to do damage to him, like he just loses the thing. Or that happens quite a lot, where we're getting stuck in the middle. Like, this run was honestly really good. And then when the second guy shows up, it just kind of gets worse, because then they all just kind of naturally surround him, which just makes it harder, because he's just always kind of in the middle of it. But, I mean, yeah, no, this fight took, like, quite a while to get, because I had to use a lot of mana just to kind of get to the main guy. And then I was also just, as soon as I got as soon as I got hit by one of the other deacons, I would immediately like lose my like wind up on my attack. I almost I think even a couple times I died to the curse mechanic in this fight, which like almost never happens because I was just in here for so long trying to kill the main deacon. But yeah, no. But also another thing about the run that's quite unfortunate is I lost the pontiff, I lost the pontiff footage because my PC like crashed while I was still recording, because I killed pontiff and then I was still recording because I was just gonna go kill Aldrich. And so, and then my PC crashed. Luckily I didn't lose the Aldrich like footage because I didn't kill him at that point, but I did lose that. But I will show some of my attempts just to like, but I mean, unfortunately I did lose that. But I mean, you'll know that I don't think you'll think that I cheated there. But yeah, moving on. For some extra levels, I also went ahead and killed myself a bunch of times in Firelink Shrine until I was able to get all of the Dark Sign, number 1, because I do want to do that ending this time around, and number 2, because it's just free levels, and that's really nice to have. And so, yeah, moving on. Before taking on the Abyss Watchers, I wanted a little bit of extra XP, so I decided I would go take on the Curse-Hearted Greatwood, just because I wanted to level up a little bit, because with my slow attack, it's pretty hard to do damage to the Abyss Watchers, because they move frequently. And so, trying to hit them with a melee attack that's got such a large wind-up is kind of difficult. And so, I was just trying to have the ability to do as much damage as I possibly could in a hit. Because, I mean, here's where the damage is kind of starting to fall off. I mean, I'm doing 175 to the tree, which, I mean, I guess that's about average, but it's... The damage is definitely starting to kind of fall off, but I also think that this thing's just kind of resistant to magic. But yeah. There really isn't much to say about this boss, because it's almost as bad as Beta Chaos. I think I've said that like every video now, that it's almost as bad as Beta Chaos, but I mean, that's just the truth. It's almost as bad as Beta Chaos. Especially because you can really only damage it in certain areas, which just makes it worse, because it like flails around the whole time. Like, I'm trying to just hit the hand here, but the hand keeps sliding away. So I can't really hit it until I finally stop and do a stupid move. Moving on. Now on to the Abyss Watcher, which, I mean, I was skimming through the footage, so I wasn't really exactly counting how long it took me. But I think it at least took me about like 2 hours to kill these guys. Mainly just because, number 1, the first phase is just gank, especially if you get unlucky and have the like guy that's kinda supposed to be friendly towards you attack you immediately, which happened quite a lot, which just immediately got me killed because there's no way I can throw out an attack with 3 people attacking me. And then also the Abyss Watcher is just generally fast, and so I don't really have a whole lot of time to get my attack out. I have to be really specific. Like, I have to wait until I know for a fact they're gonna have a lot of downtime before I want to swing. Or I kind of just have to swing right after they're done with an attack if I like am able to just kind of step out of it. But if I'm dodge rolling, I really just have to make sure that they're going to be inactive for long enough for me to actually get an attack out without them just kind of flicking something out and hitting me or just dodging backwards. And that's even worse with the second phase, because now he's got like a trail of fire around his swing, so I kind of have to stay back for longer depending on like how the attack is, which means it's definitely a lot harder for me to get some of my moves off when I have to worry about the Ring of Fire. Sometimes I just tank it because, I mean, I'm just trying to like kill this guy at this point, but it definitely does make it a lot harder because I have to stay back and be a lot more careful. And then also some of the moves that I used to be able to punish easily have a chance for a follow-up, which I've also got to worry about, like the slide where he kind of slides his sword along the ground with him. Like that I could usually counter, but in the second phase it's got extra moves. But yeah, after a while I killed him. Moving on. Now Wolnir this time around was actually a little tough because I kind of swing slow, and sometimes he can be a little frantic with his movement. And also it can be kind of iffy on whether or not the scythe actually like hits the bracelet and not like another part of his arm. And so I do have to like swing a lot more at the arm to get something to break. This is like honestly the first time in a while where I've seen Wolnir pull out some moves, like where he spawns skeletons. Like I only saw that on my first playthrough. That's the only time I saw moves like this, was on my first playthrough. And then also like the sword move, like I've never seen that. Like I've never seen him actually pull out the sword and slam it, like since my first play run. And I mean this one too, of course, but I mean before this it was a while since I saw a lot of these things. And it was honestly kind of cool to like actually see some of the moveset you don't usually get to experience. But it's definitely not nice to experience him spawning a bunch of skeletons the whole time. I don't know how I've always been able to like consistently avoid this from happening. I think I just usually break the bracelets fast enough he just can't react or something. But unfortunately this time around, I did have to sit through that, which made the fight a lot longer. Because I had to like, I almost didn't want to attack when the skeletons were out. So I had to just wait for the sword slam, which kills the skeletons, before I could really bother doing some more attacks. And so, yeah, I don't know. It's just definitely really made the fight a lot longer, having to sit through all these extra moves. I'm gonna be real. It definitely made the fight a lot longer. I did not know the fight was this long. But yeah, no, it was cool to see all these extra attacks, but it also was not so cool to experience and play through. But man, this really does take a while, doesn't it? This is honestly this is probably the world record for the longest Wolnir fight, and there we go. All right, after a very long 5 minutes, because this is in 2x speed, I finally killed Wolnir. Moving on. Now I was not really worried about Old Demon King because a lot of his attacks are very slow, and so that perfectly matches my very slow scythe movement. And he also just seems fairly weak to dark, which I mean is pretty nice, but then also you have Aldrich, which, spoiler alert, I after like fighting him for like 4 hours, I just used a regular scythe on him. Like I just used a scythe, like a normal scythe. So I mean, kinda on brand, but I mean, I did not kill him within the rule set because honestly, it was 4 hours in. I was kind of just mad off of the Pontiff loss, and I just wanted to kill a boss on recording, and so I was kind of just tilted the whole time. And then after like 4, and then he's also just fairly resistant to dark damage, so it's very hard to kill him with something that's dark. And so I just ended up getting a regular scythe. I think I infused it with lightning because I happen to have a bolt stone I picked up somewhere along this run or whatever. And so I did put that on it too, just because he's weak to lightning. I really wanted to put salt in the moon, but yeah, no. So I did not do that legitimately, but I mean, it would have taken me 1.5 years anyway. So I mean, technically I did not beat the game because of 2 out of the 4 Lords of Cinder I didn't actually kill legitimately, but I've never killed Yorm legitimately, so that's really no shock. Now, as I look back, I realized I actually lost all of the Pontiff recording in the recording where I actually killed him as well. So we're just going to move on to Aldrich, and as you can see, my shame here is I'm using a regular scythe. I at least tried to stay somewhat on brand with this with the weapon choice, but I mean, this was something I could fairly easily just go get at the beginning of the game, and so I just kind of grabbed it, and ran back to here, because I mean, I definitely shouldn't have done this. Like, I definitely, if I tried hard enough, I definitely could have killed Aldrich with the Lifehunt Scythe. But definitely in the second phase, I got hit with his Lifehunt Scythe a lot when I would try to use mine. And then he would just get so much health back. And then he would almost just be to the point where he's not even in phase 2 anymore while still in phase 2. Like, he'd get above the phase 2 threshold mark with how much he'd be hitting me just because of my slow attack. And that was low-key just making me mad. And I was just mad off of the Pontiff, like, loss, which, I mean, nothing I could really do about that. But yeah, moving on. Now, Exhibit A on what happened to Seaward, he just got kind of shoved in the corner really hard. Like, I think it was that right there that got him stuck in the corner. And then from then on out, he just was, like, trying to run out of the corner. And he wouldn't throw out any attacks. And so I was trying to distract Yorm. Like, I was just biting at his ankles, trying to distract him, while I was waiting on Sigurd to actually do something, but he just wouldn't because he's just stuck in the corner. And then I run over here to see if I can maybe get Sigurd to, or maybe I can get Yorm to hit him out, but I honestly don't even know. I think he got, like, there's no way he was supposed to get back there in the first place, but he wouldn't even, as soon as I got him close, he wouldn't even do the special attacks that are actually worth damage, and then he just got pummeled to death and died. So I came back with a vengeance for Sigurd, and I pulled up with his Storm Ruler and took out Yorm the good old-fashioned way. Which is, honestly, I mean, maybe one day, if I really feel like I want to hate myself even more, I'll kill Yorm with something that isn't the Storm Ruler, that isn't the Storm Ruler. But I honestly just don't even, like, when it's a gimmick fight, like, I just feel like they don't count for challenge runs. Just use their gimmick and just move on. Because it's honestly just, I don't know, I just don't really like gimmick fights like this to really begin with. Because I feel like Yorm would have been a nice fight, is if, like, you did enough damage to his ankles where he would end up kneeling down. And then that's when you'd actually do the good damage. Which, I mean, I guess you can technically do, but you need to do quite a bit of damage, I think, to his ankles to make him, like, fall down. Which, yeah. Which, I don't know, I just don't really like these gimmick fights. They're just no fun. I think here at the end, I do try to use the Lifehunt Scythe to kill him. Which definitely takes quite a while extra, because it does, like, 100 damage to his ankles. But I mean, it's a thought that counts, right? At least I tried to finish him off with the proper weapon. Yeah, no. After almost dying because I wanted to use the Lifehunt Scythe, I was able to finally kill Yorm. Moving on. Now, Dancer low-key folded. I did not know that she was, like, not resistant to dark damage at all. I kind of assumed because she used a dark weapon that she had to be, like, somewhat immune to it, but it turns out it's probably, like, one of the best things you can use against her or something, because I was doing 700 damage a swing, and I don't even think I had the best rings that I could have on. Actually, I probably did at this point. Never mind, moving on. Now, Dragon Slayer armor was kind of difficult to take down this time around, because I think he's kind of resistant to dark, not really. Like, as you can see, I'm still doing pretty good damage, like 180. If I'm seeing yellow, it's a good thing for sure. And so, yeah, I'm doing good damage for sure. But also this fight definitely gets really bad in the second phase when there's just the spam from the two dragons. Well, I mean, I guess it's not really spam. They don't do it that often. But when they do throw out projectiles, it gets a little harder for me to dodge. But honestly, second phase is kind of better for me, because in second phase he does really, like, wide and large swings where he has a lot of recovery time, and those are good for me to get a swing in on. And I'm even able to do it sometime in the middle of his combo because he just has so much recovery time. And so this guy was definitely a little easier to take down. I think this was like my third attempt or something on him. So yeah, no, he was really not too difficult this time around. He definitely was very tanky though. It did take a while to kill him, but after getting the rhythm down of his fight, which I definitely really enjoy his fight because it just feels nice to like play, to be honest. Kind of like the Twin Princes too. Like they feel nice to like fight against, to be honest. I don't really know how to explain it. It's just a good boss. But yeah, no, it definitely does take a while to kill because I'm doing like I think I do more damage against the Twin Princes, to be honest. Which, I mean, even they were pretty resistant, to be honest. Because compared to the Soul of Cinder, or whatever his name is, I think it's like Soul of Cinder, he was really weak to Dark, which you'll see later. But yeah, no, after a while, I was able to slash that guy down. Now moving on to the Twin Princes, which definitely was like the longest fight for me in this run, because like they're pretty tanky to Dark, and then I also have to just completely kill this guy once to be able to damage the like actual boss. And then during that, because it's kind of hard for me to get attacks out, I'm probably going to end up needing to kill the I'm probably going to end up needing to kill Lorien extra, which I do. I end up killing him like 2 extra times to be able to kill Lothric. But I mean, luckily the third time around he doesn't have full health, which definitely makes it easier. But yeah, no. With my long windup, it gets a lot harder for me to actually be able to get behind him and throw out a swing that connects before he is already ready to just swing at me again. Just because his boss is just such a fast boss. But it definitely helps that the Scythe has some good like reach. So sometimes like if I hit him at the side, I'm able to kind of reach around and hit Lothric anyway, which definitely is nice. And also, I mean, sometimes even I think when I was hitting him from the front, the Scythe was kind of reaching around to hit Lothric. But yeah, no. After that second knockdown, this was the closest I'd ever been after like a good 4 or 5 hours of attempts on these guys, because these guys definitely took me a while to kill as well. I had to go farm a bunch of stats just to like reasonably kill them. But after knocking down Lorien for a third time, I finally killed Lothric and on to the final boss. Now onto the Soul of Cinder, which I was really nervous about this guy given the fact I was having trouble in the Twin Princes until I hit my swing the first time and saw 633 on the health bar, and then I realized I'd be fine. As soon as I saw that number, I realized I can kill this guy in like 12 shots, and then the Gwyn phase is going to be even easier because he's got long windups, and so that definitely just really synergizes well with my long windups, and so it was definitely really easy to take this guy out because as soon as I'm through the first phase, now second phase, I can just kind of stay away from him when he does his big combo, and otherwise kind of just when he's got his long windups, just kind of hit him. Those grab attacks were really helpful too because that was just a free hit all the time. But yeah, no, it was actually shockingly easy to kill the Lord of Cinder this time around. And with that, I would like to thank you guys all for watching. And if you did enjoy, maybe like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.